I remember one particular character who came along. He was absolutely suicidal, tremendously depressed, and in the deepest depth of despair came along to see me for an initial consultation. And I've developed the therapeutic idea that it is not necessarily a good idea if you're in prison, in a dungeon, say, and the door happens to be open, to adopt the policy, I'm not going to walk out of this state of affairs unless I discover how I got into it. Forgotten how I got in here, but I'm not going to walk out until I work out all the reasons I got into it. Now, that is not doesn't necessarily help me to get out of it, to find out how you got into it. It might be useful, but it often isn't. So I will say then to someone who's absolutely no, when was the last time you remember ever being happy? Or is there anything that you can scan in the last 24 hours, the last 48 hours, go back as long as you like, when you last felt okay? So I adopted this policy with this guy instead of going into all his family history and all what he did. So I got him onto what he enjoyed. You go out for a walk and whistle. Whistle. His favourite tune, or something that occurred to him. He'd forgotten that he could actually whistle. You know. So we get into a sort of rap about this. At the end of 50 minutes, he was we were exchanging jokes, his favourite jokes and my favourite jokes, and so I suddenly said, "Well, it's 50 minutes. The time's up." The guy was like, and as he got to the door, he suddenly went. Remembered that he had come to see me because he was suicidal and he was depressed. And he started to object that he hadn't had his money's worth. He hadn't spent our time going into his depression. I said, you've had 50 minutes with me, and you're not depressed now. Don't you think you might sort of go away and think about what happened between us, and such that you forgot about your depression for a bit, and the best way to keep depressed is to keep on thinking about your depression. You forget it if you can, and if you can't forget it, then all right, we'll have to go into it.